welcome to our second game of our NASDAQ Amex College Football doubleheader from Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Alabama, LSU. Wisniewski will kick away. Mealy at the 10. And Mealy rumbles down to the 25-yard line.
Herb Tyler, the quarterback for LSU, thrown for 15 touchdowns, ran for 7 more. 203-pound senior from New Orleans, completing nearly 60% of his passes on the season.
Very lightly recruited out of high school as an option quarterback. No one knew he'd have the success he's had here at LSU.
Tigers are 4-4 on the season, trying to wake this offense up. First pass play complete to the flat. Larry Foster, and he's pushed down to the 29-yard line. Let's take a look at that LSU offense. Backs and receivers. The tailback's a good one. Faulk. Banks is the fullback. The wide receivers, Foster and Booty. Up front, Williams, Thomasy, McClure, Langley, and Winey.
Todd McClure was all SEC last year, had a staph infection in his shin earlier in the year, missed a game. They needed him back. He is the glue in that offensive line.
You saw Jerry DiNardo, 4th year at LSU, feeling some heat with that 4-4 record. Second down on the ground. Oh, a little slip and fall. Faulk is taken down at the 29-yard line. Let's set that Alabama defense for you. They run the 4-3 up front with Grimes, Griffin, Carter, and Moorhead. Linebackers, Knight, Tino, and Trevis Smith. And the DBs are Bryant, Spencer, Dixon, and Miles. Alabama head coach Mike DeBose, Ed's second season. Had high expectation, has really lifted this Bama program up in a hurry.
Yeah, he's a graduate of the University of Alabama, realizes how important it is in the state of Alabama.
Faulk on the pitch, past the 30, close to the first down. Looks like he got it by a yard. Tackled by Travis Carroll. And Carroll, number 44, the middle linebacker for Alabama, was really doubtful if he would start this game or even see action, Eddie. Big guy with some shoulder problems, but you look at the numbers Kevin Faulk has put up on the season, nearly 6 yards a carry.
He's got a bunch of records already here at LSU, nipping on the heels at a bunch of other ones. We'll keep track of those for you today, but truly one of the great Tigers to ever play the game.
1st and 10. LSU. Tyler going deep. And incomplete. Good coverage on Booty on the near sideline. Fernando Bryant, the left corner, providing coverage for Alabama.
In talking to Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator from LSU, he told us that they were going to go deep quite often early in this game because of the safeties of Alabama. They needed to get them out of the running game, get them backing up a little bit. Fernando Bryant has perfect coverage on Booty, and Tyler has nowhere to go on that throw.
3 wide receivers set, and you look at Herb Tyler from his shotgun. Second down. Tyler can run. Dangerous indeed. Up to the 45-yard line. Herb Tyler, Eddie, has run for 125 yards. 7 touchdowns on the season at his quarterback spot.
Well, Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator at Alabama, told us that that was one of the hardest things about defending LSU is Herb Tyler is truly another running back. He does have a good arm. He's a good throwing quarterback, but he said he might be the 2nd best running back at LSU, right behind Kevin Faulk.
Picks up 7 yards. You look at that front for Alabama. Kenny Smith, Cornelius Griffin. This season, you saw the numbers on Herb Tyler. Out of the backfield comes Kevin Faulk. And he's deceptive. We know, Ed, that he's a good runner. Nearly 900 yards he's piled up, but great hands. That's his 20th reception out of the backfield.
Back in 1996, Faulk was an All-American as an all-purpose back. He had over 2,000 all-purpose yards when you combine receiving, rushing, and kick returns. So dangerous, not only out of the backfield, but we'll see him today line up in the slot as a receiver and run a bunch of routes down the field. And we just saw right there, it's that speed around the corner that makes him so special.
A 2-time All-SEC pick. Flags come out as they will stretch the chains. About a football short.
You've got a figure at home. Jerry DiNardo would like his chances of going for it here on 4th down. They're discussing it with his offensive coaches. But you get the sense in our meetings with Terry DiNardo, he's the type of guy who loves challenges like this.
Oh, yeah. Again, the first 3 seasons, kind of a honeymoon for DiNardo. He really lifted LSU up. 3 straight bowl victories, and now some rumblings around Tiger Town.
But I liked his response. He said, you know, if we wouldn't have risen it up as fast as we did, we wouldn't have the criticism we have now. He kind of welcomed it.
7th play of this drive coming up. 12:26, first quarter, 4th and inches. Well, they stack the right side with a couple of tight ends. Pitch play, Faulk. Turns the corner, got it. Reached down on second effort down to the 47-yard line. Travis Carroll chased him down.
Right guard Trey Langley pulls out to lead the toss sweep to the right. Travis Carroll from the linebacker spot gets outside. Little stutter step by Faulk, though. Gave a little juke inside, was able to bounce outside. That's the type of moves that he's going to have to use. Whenever there's penetration by the defense like Carroll got there, that's what Faulk is able to do that. Make a little move, bounce outside for the first down.
Herb Tyler, one of 18 seniors who were honored just before the kick of this football game, playing their final home game at Tiger Stadium. Tyler in the pocket fires a dart on a knee down. He threw that ball where he had to. Larry Foster made the catch.
Take a look at the SEC West standings currently. Arkansas up there at top, undefeated, having a great day today against Ole Miss. Alabama, LSU. But it's a lot of people had thought that this may be a little different. Arkansas not thought to be doing very well. Didn't think they'd have a great year. But LSU was considered to be one of the top teams in the West and really have struggled this year.
At the Alabama 46-yard line.
3 wide receivers. Shotgun again for Herb Tyler. And a timeout.
Timeout. Tigers.
Alabama showed a blitz package, and Herb Tyler forced to call a timeout.
Bank One will trade 2 lucky
take the break.
fans to the ultimate seat upgrade. For today's game, 2 prime seats at midfield on the west side.
11:09 remaining first quarter here in Death Valley. We're scoreless.
If you're seated in west upper section 25 or GG, seat.
And welcome back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tiger Stadium. Craig Bolerjack back with Ed Cunningham. And Eddie, we see 2 good quarterbacks today. Faulk, of course, the running back, Herb Tyler, the senior. And we haven't seen Andrew Zhao yet, but just wait till you see the Bama freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman. Then Alabama will be set as a quarterback for Alabama for the next 3 years. Herb Tyler having his last game today at Tiger Stadium.
9th play of this drive. Faulk gets the call up to the 45-yard line, and a posse of red jerseys make the tackle.
You know, that's the part of Kevin Faulk that a lot of people don't realize. Not the biggest guy that's ever played running back, obviously, at 5'10", 192, but he can move the pile. He got hit at the line of scrimmage and was able to move the pile forward a yard or 2. Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator at Alabama, told us that's what makes him the total package. He has the speed to get outside, which we've already seen on this drive, and he also has that power to duck his head and get a couple extra tough yards.
Tommy Banks, the fullback, checks in. Booty in motion. 3rd down and 3. And slapped away. Booty incomplete. Good coverage provided by the free safety, Marcus Spencer.
Incomplete. Broken up by Spencer. 4th down.
Brings up a 4th down and 3.
Very interesting, Craig, that LSU uses 2 punters. Right now, we're going to see Jeremy Witten come into the game. He is their pooch punting specialist. When they get inside the 50, he's the guy who gets to drop it down inside the 20. Had a great game last year against Alabama. Dropped one on the 13, the 1, and the 2.
He has pooched 10 inside the 20-yard line, but not much of a pooch this time.
That one was poorly pooched.
They will mark that ball at the 33-yard line. So no return. And Alabama will start their first series with good field position. DeVos clapping. We'll take a break. 10:16 left, first quarter.
Online and by Little Caesars.
Blue skies above Death Valley. Scoreless here in the opening minutes of the first quarter. SEC battle between LSU and Alabama. Andrew Zhao feeling pressure on the first play from line of scrimmage, and he throws incomplete. There he is. Has really broken onto the scene. Andrew Zhao, strong arm and a quick release. Lake Butler, Florida, 6'2", 215, the total package. 6 touchdowns, thrown 5 interceptions.
Huge game last week against Southern Miss. Had 361 yards passing. Young guy who's really starting to get a grasp of this offense.
We will see many different formations from Alabama today. They loaded up on the far side. First man through, Alexander the Great, they call him. We set up that Alabama offense, backs and receivers. We just saw Alexander bust through. McClintock is the running back. The wideouts, Locke and Johnson. Up front, Samuels, Redmill, Hogan, McDonald, and Cuthbert.
Paul Hogan, the center's been fighting a few injuries. A little nicked up.
Third down, 6 at the 38-yard line.
Really tough when you lose a center or your center's dinged up, because he's the guy who's making all the calls. It can change a lot of the chemistry on that offensive line.
How about these offensive sets? Shotgun, 3 wideouts, little timing pattern, sideline, and a little strong, incomplete. They had Quincy Jackson along the far sideline, so it's the 3-up, 3-down syndrome for Alabama.
If you have not seen Alabama play this year, it may be a little surprising to see them throwing the ball down the field as much as they have, but that is their game plan. Neil Callaway, the new offensive coordinator, he's going to throw the ball a lot. And you talked about the formations. They have between 60 and 65 formations. We'll probably see every one of them this afternoon.
Back to punt for Alabama, Daniel Pope. Faulk and Foster await the punt for LSU. Good kick. And out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Oh, what a kick. 53 yards for Pope. LSU will have it at their own 9 when we come back. Scoreless in Baton Rouge. 9-12 to play.
Travis Carroll, the sophomore linebacker for Alabama, has been playing from the beginning. We didn't think he was going to start today, but I guarantee he was in those coaches' ears all morning talking about wanting to play.
He told us he'd have to drag him off with that bad shoulder. Play action. Herb Tyler can tuck and run. Nice move at the 12 and down to the 14-yard line. For more on Travis Carroll, let's take you downstairs and say hello to John Dockery. Doc?
Hi, guys. Yeah, Travis Carroll, I spoke to him right before the game and to his coaches. He was a game-time decision because that right shoulder is killing him. He's in pain. He didn't practice all week long, and in warm-ups, he hardly did anything. But there he is out in the game playing. That's how important this game is to Alabama.
Travis Carroll's been half speed all year. He tore a muscle inside his shoulder during camp and then sprained it again last week against Southern Miss, but he is the emotional leader for Alabama.
A deep muscle tear. Faulk, nothing up the middle, cuts it to the outside, stiff arms down the sideline to the 29-yard line. Oh, great strength, but even great footwork. 192-pounder coming right at you.
It's all about patience being a running back. You have to wait for the hold. Notice the stutter step. He actually stopped in his tracks to wait for the hole to open up. But what I like is right there. That's physical, tough running. Get the stiff arm. It always gets you a couple extra yards at the end of a run.
15-yard gain for Kevin Faulk. First down LSU. This time Alabama's defense comes barreling through, tackled by the free safety, Marcus Spencer.
Well, Alabama's going to get their safeties involved. Number 41, he's actually lined up almost at linebacker depth. He's only about 8 yards off the ball. That is how a lot of teams now get into an 8-man front. Marcus Spencer, former walk-on, was given a scholarship this year for his great effort last year. Started every game at free safety as a walk-on. But that's how Alabama is going to try to challenge the 2-back offense of LSU's bring those safeties up.
Booty in motion from the shotgun. Second down, 3. Tommy Banks out of the backfield, and Banks upended at the 36. Only his second reception of the season. Stanley got some help from Spencer to knock down the big man at 250 pounds.
Just great patience by Herb Tyler. He looked downfield at all his progressions. 2nd and 13. Found Banks uncovered out of the backfield, knowing that you're probably not going to get a first down, but it gets you down into 3rd and short. You don't want to be at 3rd and 14. So now you got a chance to open that playbook back up.
3rd down. Call it 3 wide receivers. Tyler, slant, Booty to the 49. And you hear those are not boos. Those are just cheers of Booty. Abram Booty. He's had a catch now in 16 straight games.
Abram Booty's brother, Josh, was recruited to play quarterback here at LSU. Decided to play professional baseball, but the fans here very happy that his brother Abram decided to stay. Has really turned into, as a true sophomore, played as a true freshman last year. Decided to come and play, even though his brother decided to go play baseball.
Was an all-freshman SEC pick a year ago. Just a good possession. Tackle receiver. Reverse. Big hole. Foster. Sideline at the 20. Reggie Miles saved the touchdown for Bama.
Todd McClure, the all-SEC center right here in the middle, is going to fake run, and then he's going to come back and get a great seal block on the reverse to number 22, Larry Foster. See him sneaking out of the back there. Bam! Just knocks the defender right on his can. Great block by McClure, the center, to spring Foster free around the edge. If the center does not get out there in front of Foster, would have only been about a 5-6 yard gain, but good hustle by McClure downfield.
Well, that 5 or 6 yard gain turned into 24. It's 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Herb Tyler steps back, picks up 4 to the 23-yard line. That was a concern of Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator for Alabama. As you mentioned, Eddie, you have to respect the speed and the running ability of Herb Tyler right there. Plan play.
And you also, as a defensive coordinator, you've got to be concerned about the success that LSU is starting to have on first down. You always want to keep an offense a couple of yards on first down at most, but plays like that out of the shotgun, very hard to defend because you got to get ready for the pass, and they run the ball at you.
8th play of the drive approaching from the eye. Play action. Herb Tyler has a man. Booty up and over his fingertips, incomplete. Fernando Bryant providing coverage to the left corner for Alabama.
Pretty good protection so far for Herb Tyler. Has not been hit as he's thrown the ball yet today. Number 43, Banks, the fullback, gets a good block. Booty just he tumbled a little bit coming out of his break. Didn't get around in time to get the ball. Just a little late on his jump, but he got his feet tangled up just a little bit. Pretty good coverage by Bryant downfield, but Booty just didn't get out of that break cleanly.
So far, Tyler is 5 of 8 for 36 yards in the early going. 3rd down, 6 over the middle, and this time Foster did not look, but that ball thrown a little high.
That was an emotional throw by Herb Tyler. He just got way too much on that ball. Very emotional day for Herb. His last game on this field, his father passed away back in the spring. His father told him, hey, you don't know how fast your college career is going to go. And Herb told us he really wishes his father could be here with him today. Just needs to settle himself down a little bit. I know there's a lot of emotion, but just get calmed down.
This will be a 40-yard attempt. Christian Chauvin hit the upright.
They've had some problems with their kicking game at LSU this year. One of the many problems they've had. Chauvin was perfect coming into today's game. He was 3 of 3. Just puts a little too much hook on it. Bam, right on the pole. A lot of times those will fall in, but I guarantee you Chauvin thought he had it. Oh no, it hit the post.
Well, pacing and pacing and pacing is Jerry DiNardo.
It's so frustrating when your offense is able to move it up and down the field and they haven't been able to come away with any points yet.
Alabama gets their second offensive series They went 3 up, 3 down the first time to touch the ball. Good run by Sean Alexander. We look at that LSU defense. Mitchell, McFarland, and Green. 17 sacks between the three. Linebackers are Miller, Wesley Smith, and Hill. And the DBs, Booker, Roman, LeBlanc, and Davis.
Neil Callaway, the offensive coordinator from Alabama, told us the one place he thinks they may be able to take advantage of LSU is in that secondary. That's changed some things around at LSU. And there's the guy that they're going to try to unleash today, Andrew Zhao, the freshman quarterback.
Second down and 2. 3 wide receivers. Pitch. Eric Locke. And Locke is dropped at the 28. Good read by Charles Smith.
Eric Locke, one of the true freshman receivers that gets to play, came in motion. Almost a reverse, but really just a pitch. But an excellent job by Charles Smith staying home. Defensive coordinator Lou Tepper, you have to have a guy on the backside of every play who stays as deep as the ball. Sometimes they'll start to pursue and get burnt, but Smith did a great job staying at home.
Third down, 5. Zhao under heavy pressure, dumps it underneath. Quincy Jackson past midfield and stumbles up to the 43. What a nice read by the freshman quarterback.
And if you want to stop somebody from blitzing you, this is how you do it. Andrew Zhao is very good in the pocket. He does not panic. He's got great feet. Joe Wesley comes completely unblocked. He stands into the pocket. He knows where his hot read is. That's the progress that Andrew Zhao has made, is to know who is open when they blitz me. And like I said, if you want to stop somebody from blitzing you, you throw that little slant pass. It goes for a 40-yard gain. That will slow LSU down for the rest of the game trying to blitz.
30-yard pickup between Zhao and Quincy Jackson. 1st and 10. A dart over the middle, incomplete. Well, if you question his arm strength, he was looking for Arvin Richard, incomplete, but he can release the ball in a hurry.
Yeah, he's got a quick release. And, you know, the amazing part is Andrew Zhao did not start as a quarterback his senior year in high school. He blew out his knee in the spring. He had to back up a sophomore that fall as a senior. Originally committed to Auburn. They wanted him to play safety. He said, you know what, I followed my heart. I wanted to play quarterback. And Alabama, I tell you, they've got themselves a find in Andrew Zhao.
It's amazing. His rehab, he was back playing after 4 months after the surgery. Zhao, option. Thought about the pitch and then just pushed down. Oh, hello, Anthony McFarland says to the freshman, Andrew Zhao. McFarland, a great story, 290-pound senior, and his nickname, Booger. Now that's not actually from players, that's from Mom.
Yeah, Mom
You
gave
little
that to him.
booger.
A great job, though. The one thing that Anthony McFarland can do is run laterally on the line of scrimmage. He fought off 2 blocks, was able to get down inside. Andrew Zhao has no idea where that's coming from because he's trying to read the end. But Anthony McFarland, a couple of weeks ago against Georgia, absolutely took over in the 4th quarter. He said, I had to make plays because we needed them.
3rd down, 2. Zhao all day to throw. Deep ball. Jackson incomplete. Down on coverage, Robert Davis, a freshman from Shreveport. But Zhao aired that ball out.
Very obvious that Andrew Zhao is not afraid to let this ball fly. He's tried a couple of shots deep. This one just outside the outreached arms of Jackson, but not afraid. Very close to making that play, but Zhao is not afraid to let that ball fly.
So Alabama's series is stopped at the 44. Pope is back to punt, and Faulk back to receive. And no return. 7 yards deep in the end zone. Tonight on CBS, martial arts superstar Sammo Hung stars in TV's #1 new drama, Martial Law. If you haven't seen Sammo in action, don't miss an all-new episode of Martial Law tonight on CBS.
Coming into into the season, a lot of people, including myself, thought that LSU would win the SEC West, but things have kind of gone topsy-turvy. You got to move Arkansas up here. You got to move LSU and Auburn down here. It's been an amazing season. 44 of the 45 first-place votes went to LSU. Nobody expected a 4-4 season.
Fullback draw.
Tommy Banks, Mary.
Tommy Banks, maybe a yard up to the 21. Tackled by Travis Smith. Nice job of drawing, by the way.
And several others made a tackle.
Well, for more of that Alabama defense, let's check in with John Dockery. Doc.
You know, the Alabama defense has been having its problems as LSU is moving the ball, and what the coaches and players are talking about on the sidelines. And Ed, you mentioned this, they're so preoccupied with Herb Tyler up the middle and spying on him that they're not. That's the linebackers and the defensive backs are not getting contained outside, and that's where they're making their yardage.
Play fake to the fullback. The catch is made, pulled down, Faulk, and he fights to the near sideline up to the 24. Fernando Bryant knocked him out of bounds.
Interesting point by John Dockery that they're worried about watching Herb Tyler, but one way you can get after a quarterback is just get him on the ground. Good shot up the middle on Herb Tyler, and that's one way you can slow down a great athlete like that, is start hitting him around the midsection. A couple of body blows will slow down anybody, Craig.
Yes, indeed. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Scoreless here in Baton Rouge. They call it Death Valley. Shotgun. 3rd down 8. He fakes the deep pass, swings it out to the flat, and Faulk is wrestled down at the 28-yard line, about 2 yards short of the first down.
Herb Tyler hoping that his man Faulk could make a defender miss and get the first down. Nothing open down the field. Right now, Alabama doing a good job covering downfield and not letting things be open. And Tyler has had to go to that swing man several times so far.
Gibbs at his own 15 will kick to Arvin Richard. Good kick. Driving Richard back inside the 15. Richard breaks a tackle and then taken down at the 18. 56-yard kick, a 5-yard return. Hey, Greg Norman is 101% fit as he returns next weekend to host the Franklin Templeton Shark Shootout. He'll be joined by his good buddies John Daly, Freddie Couples, Davis Love III, and many more of this 2-man team competition. And then next week, make sure you tune in NASDAQ, MX, college football, Notre Dame, Navy, or it will be Arkansas and Tennessee. 3:30 Eastern. Make sure you check your local listings for the game in your area.
Arkansas, Tennessee could go down either one of those teams. If the team who wins could end up at least guaranteed a spot in that December 5th final of the SEC in Atlanta.
And before today's game, we were joined, how about Notre Dame on that goal line defensive stand against Boston College. Zal complete down to the 21-yard line.
What hustle by Anthony McFarland, the nose guard. Here's a guy, he's a senior, it's his last game, they've had a disappointing year. We sat down and met with him. I said, you look like a madman out there, you're running around. He said, you know, I just have to make plays. I have to lead by example, make sure the young guys don't stop working. That time he's out there, 290 pounds, chasing around a running back in the that ran a little screen. Amazing hustle by a big man.
And Eddie, he's hungry for a sack. The first 4, he picked up 6 quarterback sacks. The last 4, he's been shut out. Zal passes, the ball tipped and then knocked down. Well, you can almost see interception, but a collision down at the 30-yard line. Roman batted that ball away, and LeBlanc had a chance. Brings up a 3rd down.
This crowd has not been able to have too much to scream for yet today, but you can imagine this place would have erupted if Roman's ball. Good coverage by the free safety coming up from that safety spot, read the quarterback's eyes, got underneath the little out route. And Roman did a nice job coming up, and like you said, LeBlanc almost picks that. If he picks it, you got to figure he has a good chance of getting in the end zone.
Zal, 2 of 7. He started strong with that first throw, 2 of 7 for 32. Past the 25 up to the 26.
You know, Craig, they put in Eric Locke at the quarterback spot. Locke, a true freshman, was a quarterback in high school, played some quarterback last week against Southern Miss. And the reason they're doing that, the reason they're trying to get Eric Locke some time, is John David Phillips, the fifth-year senior quarterback, wants to get on the field, and they have to start developing a second stringer before they can let John David play some other spots and possibly some special teams.
Faulk back to kick. Good snap. Faulk and Foster for LSU. Hang time. Faulk at the 17. Stiff arms. Breaks a tackle. And then is pushed down at the 27-yard line. They also have another great quarterback, Tyler Watts, who's a freshman. Highly thought of, but they want to try to redshirt him and don't want to afford to put him on the field. 56-yard boot, a 10-yard return.
First two punts Pope had of Alabama, he angled them away from Faulk. That time, he kicked it right down the middle of the field. Very dangerous to do with Kevin Faulk. Already one touchdown return this year on a punt.
We have a 5-yard face mask violation on the red team. Be a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down at the end of the quarter.
Astor Sizemore, today's referee.
Faulk uses a great stiff arm to get away from Freddie Millens, and Roman gets a shot very close to an illegal shot.
That's the end of the first quarter. Scoreless here in Death Valley. We'll return to Baton Rouge right after this message and a word from your local station.
The LSU Tigers would like to...
On the Shoals, call News Channel 19.
We start the second quarter in Tiger Town, Alabama. LSU scoreless. Craig Bolerjack back along with Eddie Cunningham. Ed, we know both these teams have quick strike offenses, but so far it's been a defensive battle.
We didn't expect that at all coming into the game. LSU has moved the ball. They had 106 yards of total offense in that first quarter, but they got a goose egg up on the scoreboard.
Tyler, play action to the sideline. Booty wrestled down at the 47-yard line. Well, we talked about that great defensive stance by Notre Dame against Boston College. Here's Tim Brando back in New York with an update.
Guys, consider this. Deke Cooper will make the tackle of Mike Cloud, and the Irish will prevail in this game, preserving a 7-1 record. A possible Rose Bowl berth. That could have been an $11 million play made by Deke Cooper in the BCS.
Leave it to Tim Brando to do the economic impacts of a goal line stand.
I can see Timmy right now with the calculator. Carry the 2. That's $11 million. First down from the 46. Up the middle. That's Rondell Mealy, who backs up Faulk. Kind of the unknown tailback at LSU.
He wasn't unknown last year, though, against Notre Dame in the Independence Bowl. Mealy was the MVP, rushed for 222 yards. McClure, great job on Carroll, the middle linebacker. But let me tell you something, when holes are that big, you're going to have a lot of success. Little stunt run in the middle there by Alabama. Good job by the center, Todd McClure, getting up on the linebacker.
11-yard gain for Mealy, 6-footer, a junior. Tyler, play action. Oh, great catch. Reaching up in the sky was Foster. Down to the 26.
Let's take a look at the Sun America virtual playbook. One thing that Alabama is going to try to do is get LSU out of their two-back game plan. If they're able to do that, watch for LSU to go to the one-back and still run the option. They'll pull 2 offensive linemen to block linebackers. Now the quarterback, Herb Tyler, will option off the free safety. Very tough to defend because your defensive end is blocked by the tight end. That's usually who forces the pitch.
Another first down for LSU. Impressive drive by the Tigers early here in the second quarter. Handoff taken down as Mealy. Reggie Grimes made the stop, the left end for Alabama.
You know, it's amazing in this series, as tough a place as it is to play, Tiger Stadium, Alabama has not lost a game here since 1969. It's amazing when you think of the players that are on the field. None of these players were alive in 1969, and LSU 0-13-1 since then. It's an amazing streak of games. Mike DeBose, tell you how long that series is. Mike DeBose, when he was a player at Alabama, never lost a game here.
Slant, a little overthrown. looking for Booty. Now, it's amazing, Ed. I can't think of too many situations in college football where the visitor has the advantage of home, and then you go back to the opponent's home field and you take command.
Yeah, and the amazing part is this is a tough place to play, voted by a lot of people the most difficult place to play in America. But you know what? It's not real easy to go win at Alabama either. So both of these teams, it's a little different. When we talked to Fernando Bryant yesterday, the senior cornerback from Alabama, he's like, you know what? For us, it's turned into almost like playing at a home game. We like playing here so much.
Tyler from the shotgun, 3 wideouts. Good protection, fires inside, little collision, no flag. Booty was hooked up with Fernando Bryant, and of course his hometown crowd letting out the boos.
Tyler's pass.
Both players kind of got tangled up. They were tangled up there. The left hand of Fernando Bryant had a hold of the jersey of Booty, and that's usually what the official will look for. I believe Bryant got away with one there, Craig.
Chauvin will try a 42-yard field goal. He missed from 40 yards. His first kick hit the upright. This one hit the crossbar.
He likes steel, I guess. Got to hit something when he kicks it.
Hey, how many games could you do where a kicker hits the upright and then the crossbar? Scoreless in Death Valley. Chauvin 0 for 2.
LSU Tiger bottled water. Now available at Tiger Stadium on campus.
Alabama, LSU in a battle here in Death Valley. 12:33 to go. Scoreless in Baton Rouge.
Kind of a pitcher's duel. You would not expect that. We expected to see an offensive show today, but has not happened so far. LSU 148 yards of offense and nothing to show.
Bama back on offense, and the handoff off the left side goes to Sean Alexander. And that is time for our Aflac trivia question of the day. When Hall of Fame wide receiver Don Hutson played at Alabama, who was known as the other end?
I'll give a hint. He's also in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Even though he was known as the other end.
Stay tuned for the answer. Quincy Jackson and Michael Vaughn, the 2 wide receivers, set to the near side. 2nd down, 6, Alabama. Alexander stopped in the backfield and then breaks a tackle. Oh, he was stopped for a 2-yard loss and then fights his way up to the 33-yard line.
Joe Wesley, the inside linebacker, has been very active so far today, running around. He's the guy that they like to protect and let him run around and make some plays. But Alexander, nice job fighting through everybody to get a couple of yards because Wesley had him dead to rights in the backfield. Trying to run just a simple dive play. Wesley is unblocked. The offensive line's got to pick him up. And Wesley's got to make that play. When you've got a lost yardage play, you got to wrap it up.
Alexander the Great tries the left side. 1st down, Alabama at the 38. Tackled down by LeBlanc.
You know, Alexander, the way he got that Alexander the Great, actually that nickname was given to him for a night here 2 years ago at Tiger Stadium. He was a 3rd-string redshirt freshman running back, ripped off 291 yards, still the school record at Alabama. And when we talked to him, he said, well, I was so afraid as a 3rd stringer as a freshman that after every carry I was coming off, so I figured I better make the most of each one. Had a 72-yard and a 73-yard touchdown in that game.
Alexander, a couple close to the 1st down. Back to the original line of scrimmage. So let's take you back, Eddie. Alabama, LSU, November 8th, the year 1996. And here's one of those big runs, ripping it down the sideline. He averaged nearly 15 yards a carry that night. 4 touchdowns, a magical night for Sean Alexander.
Some of his biggest days, and the biggest, was right here at LSU. He's had a couple of big games so far this year, but really, that game, I asked him, I said, what happened? You haven't done anything since? And he started laughing. Of course, he has done a lot since.
High steps over the pile to the 41-yard line. A pick up at 2.
But being around town all week, that was what all the fans here in Baton Rouge were afraid of, is that this guy was going to come in and throw up another big game. The question mark at LSU this year has been the defense, giving up nearly 400 yards of offense a game. It's been the big question for LSU, and so everyone around town was wondering, would they be able to stop them?
You know, the 5 wins, Ed, that Bama has won, Alexander has run for nearly 135 yards. Into 3 losses, he's been held to only 79. 3 wide receivers. Zhao, slant, connects. That's Michael Vaughn. Tackled by Roman.
When you blitz a quarterback, it's not necessarily to get a sack or knock him down. It's to make him throw the ball quicker than he wants. The slant ball had to be thrown to Vaughn because of the blitz by LSU. It was not enough for a first down. An excellent call by defensive coordinator Luke Tepper of LSU.
Pope is back in to kick for Alabama after the Tide fall 2 yards short of the first down. You see his average on the day, 51 yards with a longest of 56. Another good high hanger. Foster. Not much, and pushed back to the 14-yard line. Pope getting the job done with his foot. 43-yard kick and a 3-yard return. CBS Sports coverage of NASDAQ MX College Football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
And this is my wife, Amy, and our miracle friend, Foster, who's beating leukemia. As a child, I dreamed of doing great things with a football.
Now, thanks to Carport Auto Parts, you can do great things with a football. Just go by your nearest carport and buy one of these footballs for $1.
The great thing about this is that all the proceeds go to the Children's Miracle Network to benefit kids just like Foster. See, in your hands, this isn't just a football, it's a miracle ball.
The strength turned around.
1st and 10 LSU. Tyler over the middle, caught by Kipps. The freshman tight end, number 85 out of Lafayette.
LSU has had some great tight ends in the past. Here's Kipps just going to come out into the middle of the field. It's one thing to do that it keeps the linebackers honest. You could see number 4, Steve Stanley, the inside linebacker, just blew the coverage, didn't run with Kipps at all. And that's one way that you can keep those guys honest in that defensive backfield, is get that tight end through the middle of the field.
And then we talked about the tight end around the country. The tight end, maybe the most underutilized player on the field. Booty underneath, up to the 42-yard line, close to the first down. Tony Dixon, a strong safety, made the tackle.
Very close to a first down. Booty having himself a very nice game.
Looks to be about a half a yard shy. They may have to bring the chains out. Nope, they're going to say first down. All right, our Aflac trivia question. When Hall of Fame wide receiver Don Hutson played at Alabama, who was known as the other end? The other end.
I think it was the Bear, wasn't it? I cheated.
Paul Bear Bryant.
And I gave you the hint of the College Hall of Fame. Obviously, Coach Bryant made it as a coach, but a good player. Was second-team All-SEC as a wide receiver.
Oh, big hole right up the gut. Faulk rips the one up to the 45-yard line. Teamed up was to bring him down with Spencer and Dixon.
Don Hutson went on to fame, obviously, in the NFL. He's in the NFL's Hall of Fame, and Bear Bryant became the winningest coach in college football. They were on the same team at Alabama, but it's amazing. He was called the other end. Like I said, he didn't make it to the Hall of Fame, College Hall of Fame as a player, but he was a good player for Alabama.
I'll tell you one thing. The Bear was not known as the other coach.
Pretty safe to say.
First downs, LSU having it away. 11 first downs in this half, only 2 for Alabama. Again, Booty on the catch. Another first down at the 32-yard line. Fernando Bryant made the tackle. And right now, Ed, you see Herb Tyler just picking apart what Bama gives him, and he's just going to Booty on the slant.
Well, and you start to see that Tyler is starting to get a little rhythm here. Just a little simple slant pattern inside to Booty. Good release on the press coverage by Booty. Gets inside position on Bryant. Bryant has good coverage, but when you get that inside release, use those hands a little bit, gives a good spot for the quarterback. But Tyler starting to settle down a little bit.
Booty 4 receptions for 51 yards. Tyler over the middle. Again, tight end. Kyle Kipps. Well, Kipps won't know what to do. After this game, he only had 9 catches through the first 8 games of the season, and today a couple of quick ones on this series.
Well, it's obvious that Alabama's having a tough time in the middle of the field. Travis Carroll comes on the blitz, and that just voids the middle of the field. Number 99, Darius Gilbert, has to come over. But when we talked to Tyler, we noticed his fingernails. He's got really long fingernails, and he said, I can actually hear them click when I throw the ball. Look how long they are on the left hand. Now, you notice a few of them broke off on that right hand. He broke 3 nails last week against Southern Miss. It was a tough week for his fingernails.
On the other side of that story, how about his 4 center, Tom McClure? He's been ripped up all year. Finally had to put some armbands, some arm guards on his wrists. Tackled down his Faulk to the 24. Good read by the free safety, Marcus Spencer. You hear the click of the ball. Isn't that amazing? First time we've talked to a kid, yeah, I know when I throw the ball sweet when I hear the nails click.
Yeah, and I said when you don't hear them click, you turn and start running to cover on an interception. Said, no, usually my receivers make the play, but we brought it up to Jerry DiNardo, and he said, you know what I categorize those fingernails under? Coaching in the 90s.
By the way, he had a manicure. He told us on Thursday night.
About every 2 weeks. Yeah, you got to keep them clean.
Oh, yeah, it is the 90s, isn't it? Clock running, coming up on the 5-minute mark of the first half. Off the left side. Faulk, big hole, but it closed in a hurry. The Tide stack him up at the 22, led by Jamie Carter, the left end. Good look at Jerry DiNardo.
Taking a lot of heat around town is DiNardo. He opened up a restaurant here this year, has done a bunch of commercials. A lot of people in town saying, another first down for LSU. They've been moving. They haven't had trouble moving it. They just had trouble scoring. But DiNardo took some heat for the restaurant and the commercials. Everyone in town saying, oh, he's not coaching. And he said, you know what? I'm not the chef at my restaurant. And we filmed those commercials during my summer break. It's not like they're shown live. I'm still in the office as much as I've ever been.
He said he's in the kitchen. He has not left the football office. In fact, he's in there more now than ever. Faulk. Oh, how about those hips? Swung him to the right, swung him to the left, down to the 17-yard line. Let's go to New York City and update with Tennessee and Tim Brando. Tim.
Philip Fulmer said earlier this week, with the BCS formula, you got to run it up. Well, Travis Henry begins the run up against UAB. An 18-yard run in. Volunteers up 10. They were a 43-point favorite.
You know, it's a shame that if that's what the BCS formula is going to make happen in college football, it's a shame that has happened. People have to run it out.
Faulk up the middle and barrels his way inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. Dixon saved the touchdown.
This offensive line for LSU is really getting it done. Watch the hole that develops on the right side of the offensive line. Just zone blocking. That was the right tackle. Number 68, Brandon Whiting, did a great job on Travis Carroll. Got up under his pads. A huge hole for Faulk to run through.
80,000 strong. 11 carries, 55 yards for Faulk. First and goal. Faulk up in that pile. Touchdown. LSU. .50 career touchdowns, and he ties Dalton Hilliard, the great running back for LSU, for first in LSU history.
One of the few records that Kevin Faulk did not have. His name's now up there, tied for first with Dalton.
Danny Boyd, the kick is no good. Oh, the kicks have been tough today. LSU leading Bama by 6, 3:30 remaining in the half. Faulk from 2 yards out. 3:30 remaining in the first half as you look at Faulk with his 10th rushing touchdown.
And we have a third kick hit and upright in this game. It's cost LSU 7 points so far in this game. That's unbelievable. And that time, of course, it had to be Danny Boyd. Danny Boyd, 1 for 3 in field goals. and 22 of 29 on PATs. They've really struggled, but you had to figure it was Danny Boyd who hit the pipe again because, oh, Danny Boyd, the pipes, they're calling.
Oh, you missed your talent, Eddie.
I don't think so.
Richard takes a knee 9 yards deep.
At the 20.
That time Boyd able to knock it deep so that Alabama could not get a return.
Impressive drive by LSU. 86 yards, 10 plays, chewed 5:14 off the clock. And Faulk goes in for his 10th touchdown of the season. We'll take a break. 3:23 left here in the first half. LSU by 6. Michael Vaughn, the motion man. Zhao gets away from pressure and then throws it away. Well, Larry Foster, as we went to break, had to head to the LSU locker room. And for an injury update, let's check in with Doc.
You know what happened on the play to Larry Foster, starting flanker for LSU? He sprained his ankle on that kick return a little earlier. They're taking him into the locker room. They're going to ice it, and they hope he'll return. One other point, and Ed, you mentioned it. From the sidelines here, LSU defensive coaches said, hey, you know what we have to do on Zhao? Pressure. We get pressure on the young quarterback. He won't perform on offense. That's what they've been doing.
And that play before, Jarvis Green, the true freshman, got in Zhao's face and made him throw it away. That's one way to rattle a young quarterback.
They put 8 men in the box. Showing blitz, they back off. Zhao shotgun, pressure, throws it out to the flat and complete. It was Marvin Brown, the fullback. And the pressure came from Johnny Mitchell, number 95.
You always hear the term pressure sack. This is a pressure incompletion. Pressure coming from the backside. Zhao just has to try to get rid of it. There is nothing open down the field. The coverage has been excellent. LSU faking a blitz. They're only bringing 3 from the outside. They were trying to set up a screen, and it was not there. And Zhao's been struggling. He's only 3 of 10 for 35 yards, but it's the pressure from LSU's front that's really slowing him down.
Good look at Mitchell. Had a hot start with 3 sacks in the first 3 games. No sacks in the last 5. Out to Alexander and tossed out of bounds at the 23. Rayon Hill, the strong safety, made the stop, and that's going to bring up a punting situation for Alabama.
There's one of the changes that Lou Tepper talked about, that Rayon Hill would go in as a linebacker in passing situations. Rayon is a strong safety, obviously can probably run a little better than some linebackers, makes the change, and it pays off.
Well, Pope has been busy for Alabama. Back to punt, once again inside his own 10-yard line.
Robinson and Faulk deep.
Faulk and Reggie Robinson back deep for LSU. Out of bounds, and let's see where they mark it. 36-yard line. Well, Eddie, big day on CBS tomorrow. NFL doubleheader. We'll throw at you Indianapolis and Miami, Dan Marino, Oakland, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Jacksonville. The late game, how about Flutie? And the Jets, San Diego, Denver, Kansas City, and Seattle. And it all begins with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Jimmy Nance, Bonnie Bernstein, Marcus, Brent, and the coach tomorrow, high noon, here on CBS.
How about Doug Flutie? How about Vinny Testaverde in New York?
Herb Tyler connects inside the 50 to the 47-yard line. For a college football update, let's take you back to New York City and Tim Brando.
Fellas, conventional wisdom has Bill Oliver removing interim only if he wins out. After Auburn had converted on a 4th and 10, this 58-yard strike to Karsten Bailey gives them their first lead against Central Florida. Dante Culpepper has a fumble and 4 INTs.
Dante Culpepper having a tough day down there, but Auburn just needs to get anything positive going towards the end of the season.
Herb Tyler rolls out and fires. Booty, the intended receiver. Crowd wants a flag, and it stays in the back pocket of the side judge. Coverage provided by Bryant, the left corner.
Bryant, second-team All-SEC in 96 and 97. Very, very good coverage. There is no flag there. If that left arm's not changing the direction of the receiver, they won't call it. Good physical coverage by Fernando Bryant downfield. Got away with one earlier on Booty, but that time was clean as could be and just very, very good coverage.
Second down 10, LSU. Tommy Banks checks in at the fullback spot. Shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Little draw play. Picking up a couple up to the 45-yard line is Kevin Faulk. Coming up on the College Football Today AXA and Equitable Halftime Report. Join Timmy Brando, Craig James, and the coach, Lou Holtz. They'll get you caught up on all the scores and highlights on yet another big day of college football around the country.
Old Lou Holtz's heart had to pound a little bit with the finish of that Notre Dame game. Tries to be as impartial as he is, but when you spend that long at an institution and have that much success, you still have the feelings for it. What a great day for the Irish.
Well, that defensive stand will make a lot of highlight reels around the country.
And should. That was a great, great job of them. And Brando's point about playing maybe for the Rose Bowl, that was exactly right for Notre Dame.
Movement up front. Bama jumps, but it looked like maybe LSU tried to come off the ball quick.
There was a hiccup in the middle of that offensive line for LSU.
It was an illegal procedure, a snap infraction on the home team, the 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
I always used to say as a center that you can't be called for offsides, but you can't get that little hitch before you snap the ball. McClure just kind of jerked the ball a little bit before the snap, and that's why they call the illegal snap.
You know, it's amazing, those centers, they know the snap, they control it. It's always amazing when they trigger the offsides.
Yeah, it's going to happen once a game, though. It's a long game.
Tyler in the pocket throw. That ball was tipped at the line, but still caught and pulled down. Ed Dangerfield, the redshirt freshman, Morgan City, Louisiana.
Alabama very wisely killing the clock on 4th down for LSU. They've got 3 timeouts. They use one of them to save some time for their offense. A nice move by Mike DeBose.
That was the 7th different LSU receiver that Tyler is hooked up with today. By the way, who's the best player in college football? Well, each week, CBS Sportsline breaks down the top players position by position. And don't forget to cast your vote in the Player of the Week poll at cbs.sportsline.com.
Well, Craig, who would you go as the best in the country so far?
Well, if you say best, you got to think Heisman. How about Ricky down at Texas?
Yeah, it's tough to argue that. But, you know, the one guy that's kind of snuck out and really done a great job, I think, is Joe Germain at Ohio State. You know, he's averaging over 300 yards a game. He's just such a good, solid quarterback for that team.
Overshadowed a bit by Katzenmoyer, the fine linebacker for the Buckeyes. How about Bishop, the quarterback for Kansas State? I think he's going to get some Heisman votes.
I don't think there's any question a guy who's as dangerous as Michael Bishop can play any position really on the field, from receiver to running back. And look at the yards that LSU has put up. But again, they've only put up 6 on the board. Alabama's still in the game, and they've almost been outgained by 200 yards.
Arvin Richard back to receive the punt. Witten boots it up and hangs it. Fair catch. And Richard at the 17-yard line. 35-yard kick and no return. So Alabama will get one more shot before halftime. Well, Monday on CBS, the King of Queens is going back to school. And higher education just got a whole lot lower. Kevin James, Leah Rimini, and Jerry Stiller star in the King of Queens. That's Monday on CBS.
You know, if Jerry Stiller doesn't make you laugh, you got something wrong with you. Now is where you see where a freshman quarterback is. Minute 35 and 2 timeouts.
3 wide receivers. Zal swings it far sideline and out of bounds. Stops the clock. Little pitch and catch with Michael Vaughn.
But here is where the maturation process of a young quarterback really comes into play. You got under a minute and a half left in the half. Redshirt freshman with 2 timeouts. Not good field position. How does he handle it? How does he move the team, especially on the road away from home?
His numbers 5 of 12, 45 yards. And you mentioned last week against Southern Mississippi, 26 of 35, 361 yards and 3 touchdowns for the freshman. Flags are down. Alexander with a nifty catch, but hold on. Whistles. Stops the clock with 1:25.
Alexander carried. Jarvis Green.
There you get LSU offsides. An Alabama player flinched, but it was after Arnold Miller had jumped into the neutral zone. Should be enough for the first down with a 5-yard penalty. Mike DeBose and his staff need to think.
Offside on the defense.
It looked like Astor Sizemore, the official, didn't like the screeching in his ears, so he shut that off as quick as he could.
I thought maybe that 9-volt battery gave him a shock, you know.
A little wiggle after he called it, but they've got to get some out routes, some things near the sideline to try to save at least one timeout for your field goal unit.
Yeah, Bama tries to spread it out offensively, but LSU crashes in, led by Anthony Booger McFarland.
But the one thing you cannot do is take a sack. Andrew Zhao really has no time at all to get this ball off. A good rush up the middle by Anthony McFarland. Miller comes in there late, and so does Johnny Mitchell. But McFarland, such an active player in the middle at that nose guard, that tilt position in that 3-4 defense.
That breaks a 4-game sack drought for McFarland. Alexander tried to turn the corner, took a high hit up around the collar by Thomas Dunson, inside linebacker.
Looks like Alabama, it looks like some of the momentum was taken away on this drive because of that sack. Guys are kind of walking around. You still have time. You've got those timeouts to maybe get a field goal try, and it looks like now they'll be content to run the clock out.
Alexander. Nice move. Stops the clock.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds around the 27. Dunson again with the tackle.
4th down comes up, and Alabama's got to punt it away. The sack was the key to that drive. Anthony McFarland came up with another big play for LSU's defense.
And again, Daniel Pope trots on the field for Alabama.
Daniel Pope was a deep snapper at Western Kentucky, and he said, you know what, I can punt better than these guys. Came to Alabama, and the coaches at Alabama said we would be lost without him. He's had a great day so far.
Gets a kick away, and look at that. Hang time down to the 22. Faulk picks up a block at the 20, 25, 30, 35, and couldn't keep his feet. Steps out at the 37. Nifty 50-yard boot and a great 15-yard return.
After Kevin Faulk caught the ball, he went back so he could set up the blocks. Look at the patience. Watch him sidestep the sidelines. That's incredible balance. I thought he went out 5 yards before that, but a great job of keeping his feet in bounds. But that's why you really don't want to kick to this guy too many times, because he's got the ability to break it at any second.
Time for one play. LSU up by 6, trying to go to the locker room with that lead, maybe more. 3 wideouts to the far side.
Why not take a shot?
Herb Tyler airs it out. And at the 20, it falls incomplete. A lot of yards for LSU, but only 6 points on the board. And also 3 kicks. Finding the iron. The upright twice and the crossbar. Let's go downstairs. John Dockery with LSU head coach Jerry DiNardo.
Jerry, kind of a strange first half. You moved the ball on the ground, you moved the ball through the air, but you weren't able to get any points on the board.
Yeah, we're shy 7 points. We should have got the 2 field goals and then the 1 extra point. Defense is playing better, and offense, as you say, is moving the ball. We just got to get some points.
Jerry, I know this is a year of high expectation for you. How important is this game as a crossroads for you?
All they're all important, but right now it seems like we got a heck of a shot in the second half. We just got to play hard.
Good luck, Jerry.
All right, that's the end of the first half. LSU leads 6-0. Timmy Brando, Craig James, Lou Holtz. They'll be along in just a bit with college football today. AXA and Ecuador halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. The head coach, Mike DeBose.
Coach, what do you do defensively to slow down LSU?
Well, we got to play better between the 20s. We played pretty good in the red zone defense. Have not played very well between the 20s. We got to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback, on the boots and stuff. We got to get tighter coverage on the receivers. The best thing, the most important thing we got to do, we got to move the football offensively, make some first downs, score some points, keep our defense off the field.
Well, Craig Bolerjack back along with Ed Cunningham, and first downs have been a problem for Alabama. They have not moved the ball offensively in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, they really need to start getting some more movement on their offense. Like Coach DeBow said, get your defense off the field so that they can get some rest and play better defense.
Alabama will have the football to start the 3rd quarter. Danny Boyd has it teed up for LSU at the 35-yard line. Richard and Millens will receive for Bama. Richard will take it out. Hits the pile up at the 15 and driven back. Good special teams coverage by LSU. And let's take a look at our halftime stats brought to you by Xerox. You see the score. A lot of offense, but yet tell you, touchdowns, field goals, tough to come by.
A lot of offense for LSU, very little for Alabama. Both teams haven't made many mistakes, no turnovers, but it's amazing with 254 yards of offense that LSU has not been able to score but 6 points. But DeBose talked about it in his halftime interview. They've played pretty well in the red zone, but LSU with those missed kicks, they're killing themselves.
Andrew Zhao, the freshman quarterback, under center as we start the 3rd quarter. LSU by 6. Bama will run with Alexander. And 2nd and 3rd effort, he'll pick up a tough 2 to the 21. Eddie, we talked about the 6-0 score. It actually, you're looking at 7 more that LSU missed.
Yeah, there was 3 missed field goals. Kristen Chauvin on his first kick. Zoinks right off the upright. Then Chauvin again. Kind of shanks this one. And this one, it doesn't hit an upright, but it hits the crossbar. And now we'll go to Danny Boyd, and it's his turn on the extra point after the touchdown by Faulk to hit the upright. All 3 kicks by LSU in the first half caught steal.
You know, I think we could call games until we're 90, and I don't know if we'd ever see that again. LSU showing blitz. Like a broken play, but Zhao able to throw it out to the flat. Oh, what a run. Freddie Millens. Stop. Left some change. Stop. And then picked up big yardage up to the 43-yard line. Robert Davis, the right corner, finally made the stop.
Coverage by number 45, Jamal Hill, comes on the blitz. He read run. He didn't actually blitz. They threw the little fake like they were throwing the toss. Great run by Millens after the catch, but it was the mistake by Jamal Hill. He read run, came off of his coverage. Millens is wide open.
And Millens picks up 22 yards and a first down for Alabama. Alexander to the 46, and it was hit hard by Jarvis Green, number 59. You know, he is known for a great pass rusher with 8 sacks, but Lou Tepper, the defensive coordinator, told us he's just scratching the surface of what this young freshman can do.
And Lou Tepper spent time at Virginia Tech, where he basically developed this defense. The tail end of his tenure at Virginia Tech, they had a guy by the name of Bruce Smith. And he didn't want to compare Jarvis Green to Bruce Smith, but he had a hard time not doing it.
And we know what Bruce Smith has done in his NFL career. Play action. Oh, Jackson pulls it down. Quincy Jackson, touchdown. "53 yards. It was batted up in the air. Jackson kept his eyes on the football, and it's 6 for Bama.
Never stop running a route, never stop concentrating on the football. Excellent coverage by the freshman Davis. Goes up to make a play, but it gets through his hand. Jackson with the great anticipation of the play. Never stop, and you can make big plays like that.
Extra point to come. Wisniewski. High snap, the hold is down, the kick is up, and Alabama on a 53-yard catch, and what a catch. Quincy Jackson. Bama 7, LSU 6. Well, Harry Houdini would have been proud of Quincy Jackson. A beautiful catch, 53-yarder. 4 plays at 82 yards, 2:07 off the clock.
And what's amazing is those 82 yards on that drive were 4 more than Alabama had in the entire first half. I guess Coach DeBoe's halftime speech about, hey, offense, you got to wake up, I guess it took hold.
Mark Wisniewski has it teed up. Short kick taken by Neely. And Neely to the 27-yard line.
You know, the thing about sports is sometimes it's just dumb luck when things happen. Robert Davis, the freshman cornerback for LSU, has great coverage on Quincy Jackson. I mean, you can't run with a guy better than this. Turn around. I go up to make the play. Oh, of course, threw my fingers into Jackson's hand. Davis, he'll replay that play time and time again in his head. But again, just dumb luck. Goes through his hand. Jackson somehow holds on with his right hand. What a great play by Quincy Jackson.
7th touchdown throw of the year for Zhao. LSU flags are down. Herb Tyler hooks it up big with Foster, who missed some time because of an ankle problem. Marcus Spencer made the stop, but a flag is down. Here's Astor Sizemore.
Reggie Miles, a true freshman cornerback, is out there covering on Foster. And right at the end of the play, he grabbed a hold of Foster's jersey. Foster able to get away. That was where the flag was thrown. Good run by Foster. Remember, in the first half, he went in. You mentioned for that sprained ankle. Doesn't look like it's bothering him at all. Made some nice cuts on that run.
Foster with 4 catches, 59 yards. There's the one-back option. Tyler with the pitch out, and Faulk takes a hit down to the 27. He was chopped down low and maybe slow to get up. Tony Dixon, the strong safety, made the hit.
Oh, you can't figure that Kevin Faulk in his last game at Tiger Stadium will stay on the ground for very long. Probably has a little bit of a thigh bruise. No, I'm not coming out. Here's that one-back option that we drew up earlier in the game. A good force of the pitch, but there's nobody home. The one-back option puts so much pressure on the defensive backs. It's a little hit on the thigh on Faulk, but he says, I'm not coming out of this game, Coach.
14-yard gain for Faulk. Alabama with a 7-6 lead. Faulk right up the gut.
You know, a guy gets a little ding. Instead of walking it off, you run it off. It's called a little dive play and see how many yards he can get.
Number 88, Kenny Smith, the sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi. Made the tackle, 276-pound sophomore.
You know, everything you read about Kevin Faulk, decided not to go to the NFL last year, would have been a late first-round, early second-round pick, as told by the NFL Advisory Committee. But a lot of people in the NFL, even though the LSU's had a bad year, said he's improved his stock in the draft.
Again, the flip-out option. Faulk has a lane. Wrestled out at the 5-yard line. And now late flags are tossed in. Marcus Spencer was there to make the tackle, but it may have been a little bit late. Faulk is just slowly, Ed, chipping away at that century mark.
If you're going to run any type of the option, get a personal foul for the late hit out of bounds. If you're going to run any type of option, you need great blocking by your wide receivers downfield. There is so much room for Faulk to run because the 2 wide receivers on that side of the field did a great job. Oh, no question about it. That's number 41, Marcus Spencer. He just threw him down out of frustration, but a great job by the LSU wide receivers blocking downfield.
First and goal from the 3-yard line. Faulk off the right side and hits the pile and down to the 2. Tony Dixon made the tackle. As you look at Jerry DiNardo,
you know, one thing I think all coaches should do, and I would assume that Jerry DiNardo does this, is know when some of your players are going for a record. If Kevin Faulk scores on this, he becomes the all-time leader in rushing touchdowns and overall touchdowns at LSU. That's a big deal for university that helps in recruiting as well.
Second down and goal. Faulk 17 carries, 95 yards. Needs 29 more to reach 1,000. Faulk up in the lane. No. Maybe lost a yard. Back to the 3, maybe 4-yard line.
But the one thing you have to remember, the most important thing, is that you score the touchdown. Alabama doing their best Notre Dame impression with a little bit of goal line defense. Good penetration by the red shirts. They got up the field. Number 97, Cornelius Griffin, the defensive tackle, got up the field, made a little penetration. Faulk had to make a move before he got to the line of scrimmage.
And Ed Bell, you look at it defensively, it's a pretty easy read, don't you think? That you look at Faulk in the backfield, the money man, you just key in on him.
But the problem is you also got that guy named Herb Tyler who can run great play action plays.
Third down goal from the 2. And tried to sneak the option and is buried under a sea of red. That's going to bring up a 4th down. Boy, what a stand by Alabama's front. Griffin was there once again.
Tito Smith, number 89, comes from his inside linebacker spot. It was that one-back option that LSU has run twice in this drive for big plays. That time Smith came from his inside linebacker spot. Good blow-up of the play by getting that penetration.
Chauvin from 20 yards. Kick is up, chip shot. Good. Well, he must run to the sideline with some a sigh of relief. LSU back on top, 9-7. LSU back on top by a score of 9-7. Boyd with the kick. Angles to the near corner. Richard takes the knee. 5 yards deep. We'll get caught up around the league tomorrow on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines with Jimmy Nash, George Seifert, Brent Jones, and Marcus Allen, Bonnie Bernstein. And keep watching for the NASDAQ MX halftime report as our guys and gal keep you on top of the action during yet another busy Sunday around the National Football League.
Just getting by the halfway point of the NFL season. Things starting to sort themselves out. The funnest race for me to watch is that AFC East. A lot of great stories going on.
Elway continues. You got to rethink that retirement story. Alexander breaks a tackle, breaks another, stiff arms to the 35. And Alexander taken down to the turf at the 27 by Mark Roman, the free safety.
You know, it was so much fun yesterday when we got to meet with Sean Alexander, talking about that great night he had here 2 years ago, 291 yards. Said he ran every ball like it was last run. And I said, well, do you still run like that? And he said, yeah, I learned a lot from that night. This time, takes Roman for a ride. The stiff arm, very physical run by Sean Alexander.
18 yards.
Well, you see his numbers, 12 carries, 65 yards. Eddie, he accounts for 86% of Alabama's rushing yards this season. Tigers throw a blitzing backer. Alexander up to the 39, tackled by McFarland and little help from Charles Smith.
You know, it's an amazing, looking at that score, 9-7, how much of this game has progressed back and forth, and we only have 16 points on the board. It's almost astounding.
Good look at Charles Smith, number 35, just really coming back into his own, Ed. Had an accident. Radiator cap came off while he was doing some engine repair work, suffered some burns, and he's just now getting his football feet back underneath him.
Missed all of fall camp and most of spring camp with a shoulder surgery.
Flags are down. The catch is pulled down. Nifty move by Locke, but hold on, a flag thrown at the 38-yard line.
Now pass is complete to Locke. Flag of the play.
Free play for the Alabama offense. On a short gain, you always accept the penalty because now you'll have 2nd and about 2 instead of 3rd and 2 with the play. But Lou Tepper, the new defensive coordinator at LSU, has taken a lot of heat. Last year, he was hired right before LSU played Notre Dame in the Independence Bowl, put together just kind of a shell of his defense, asked for a little help as defensive back coach. They had to promote Jerry DiNardo to be the defensive back coach so Lou could handle the defense. But he's taking a little heat, brought in a new scheme, tried to teach it. It's a 3-4 scheme, but it's really kind of a 4 down. But Lou Tepper, former head coach at Illinois, is taking some heat. But you've seen today, these guys have really come to play, flying around and making some good plays on defense.
You know, he told us, too, his wife, he looked at his wife after the bowl victory over Notre Dame and said, oh, wait till that first loss. There's been some heat in Baton Rouge. Oh, out to the flat. Dustin McClintock, the fullback, showing I've got some hands. 7th catch of the year. And a first down for Alabama. 10-yard pickup. Tackled by the free safety, Mark Roman.
Mark Roman having a very busy day today. But that's one thing an offense can do, like we talked about with the tight end early in the game. LSU used the tight end a lot to free up the middle. You can also use that fullback out of the backfield, and it takes that free safety out of the coverage in the middle of the field.
Freddie Millens, number 15, checks in. There's that different set. Alabama now splits 3 wideouts from the eye, and flags are thrown.
Flags.
Dead ball. False start. On the red. Repeat the down.
You know, you talked about that shutout against, not quite a shutout, but a great game on defense by the defense of LSU against Notre Dame in the Independence Bowl. And that's one of the reasons that LSU had such high expectations coming into the game. Really did a good job against Notre Dame in the Independence Bowl. And it's funny you talked about Tepper. He knew things, if they started going bad after this type of performance against Notre Dame, that he would take some heat.
First down and 5. Call that 15. And a fumble by Alexander, and a loss of another 3. Arnold Miller was there.
Arnold Miller made the tackle. Loss of 2. Second down.
You know, there's always that misnomer about the 3-4 defense. There is a linebacker, and there he is, Arnold Miller. He's listed as a rush linebacker because 90 to 95% of the time he's going to have his hand on the ground coming upfield, so it really kind of turns into a 4-man front.
Second down, 17. Yeah, he was the Independence Bowl defensive MVP. Little pump by Zhao, throws it back underneath to his fullback, McClintock. LSU didn't bite. Everybody stayed at home. Aaron Adams made the tackle.
Aaron Adams made the tackle.
Alabama just setting up a little fullback screen to the middle. Aaron Adams, the linebacker, stays home on this. Good job by Alabama. They let it develop, The offensive lineman released down the field, but good hustle on the part of the LSU linebackers. You know, that's the toughest thing as a linebacker. You've got to drop back, but peek over your shoulder to watch anybody leaking out of the backfield.
Third down, 13. Zhao in the pocket. Down he goes, driven to the turf by Anthony McFarland. Second sack of the day, and that's 8 on this season.
We saw earlier in the game an incompletion forced by good coverage by LSU. This is one of those coverage sacks. McFarland comes around on a little stunt, never gives up, but Zhao just could not find anybody downfield. Give the sack to McFarland, give credit to the LSU secondary.
Daniel Pope at his own 30. Faulk and Foster back to receive for LSU. Good hang time, taken at the 17 by Faulk. Flags are down, and Faulk dances up to the 37. But a flag on the far side of the field, a 39-yard kick and a 15-yard return. But Astor Sizemore will have a call for us.
Daniel Pope has done an excellent job hanging that ball up there. That time he tried to angle the ball, and it came back into the middle of the field. Very dangerous. He's trying to angle it out of bounds at about the 15 and couldn't get the ball over there.
Have an illegal block in the back by the return team. Be a 10-yard penalty. First down.
You know, Craig, we've been very lucky with penalties so far. Very light today as LSU leads Alabama 9-7 at Death Valley in Baton Rouge. Faulk, right as he goes down, ends up fumbling the ball. The defender from Alabama got a piece of it. The officials didn't call it. Wouldn't have mattered anyway because Mark Roman ended up recovering the ball for LSU.
Tigers start this drive on their own 11-yard line. They lead by 2, 9-7. Herb Tyler rolls and fires. Connect. And a quick hit to knock down Larry Foster. Reggie Miles on coverage.
Those are the types of things that Herb Tyler can do, though. Get out in space. Bootleg. They used to have to run a lot more bootlegs for Herb Tyler when he was a younger quarterback, wasn't comfortable as a pocket passer, was an option quarterback in high school, but now they can do so many more things with him at quarterback.
Faulk, big hole up the right side, breaks the tackle 30, 35, 40. Down to midfield and in Bama territory at the 48. Reggie Miles able to track down Kevin Faulk, 34 yards.
You want to feel like you're on Gilligan's Island, all alone with nobody helping you? Have Kevin Faulk running right at you if you're number 24, Tony Dixon, and try to get your hands on him. You know, that's got to be the loneliest feeling in college football with a guy like Kevin Faulk running right at you and knowing he's got a lot of room to run.
Well, finally, Skipper came by to help. Faulk this time just kind of makes that slow move around the far side corner. And down inside the 40 to the 38. Tony Dixon made the tackle.
We didn't see that one-back double option at all in the first half, and we've seen it a ton here in the second half by LSU. Good adjustment by the coaches at LSU to go to that, and it's netted a lot of yards in the second half. That time they pick up nearly 10.
Faulk's going to take a breather. 20 carries, Eddie, on the day, 138 yards. He's over 1,000.
He's earned himself a little breather, don't you think?
Yeah, 1,014 for Faulk in 1998. You know, Coach DiNardo told us he's the total package. But, you know, Faulk will graduate in December with a degree in kinesiology. And he said, you know what, that degree means more to some of the youth around Baton Rouge than touchdowns. Mealy nearly broke out of a stack of red jerseys to the 37. Cornelius Griffin made the tackle.
You know, fullbacks don't get a lot of credit. Tommy Banks right here on your screen is going to run up and get a great block. Gets up underneath the pads of #1 Chris Horn. And a nice segue into our NASDAQ Amex Scholar Athlete. Tommy Banks doesn't get a lot of pub as a fullback, but carries a great grade point average in microbiology. He's a pre-med major. Not a whole lot of credit, but you need those guys to help your running game.
Split backfield. Faulk back in after a one-play rest, and down the sideline he goes to the 7-yard line. Tony Dixon again saved it for what an explosive run of 29 yards for Kevin Faulk.
Kevin Faulk needed a little rest, and now you see why. He had to go over there and get some fresh legs to be able to bounce outside. Good job by the left guard number 65, Ryan Thomasy, and there is that stiff arm again. Number 24, Tony Dixon, just gets fought off by Kevin Faulk. A superb run. Also, number 47, Reggie Robinson, doing a great job blocking downfield.
Back comes Rondell Mealy. Play action. Tyler Chase throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Kyle Kipps. Chauvin will try the point after as Kipps hauls down his 3rd touchdown of the season. Up for the uprights, and LSU builds a 16-7 lead. Herb Tyler finds his tight end, Kyle Kipps. LSU on top. We'll be back. Death Valley, and a long kick by Boyd. is down, and Alabama will start at the 20-yard line, down 16-7 with 2:20 left, third quarter.
Still in the ball game. LSU has had a great day on offense. They've been able to move the ball, but they only have 16 points to show for it. They've been moving the ball with a lot of different ways. That time they use a play action fake. Herb Tyler makes a great play running away from people and finds his tight end Kyle Kipps wide open for 6.
And dragging that tight end, releasing him out to the flat, really has opened up LSU's offense. From the shotgun, Zhao hooks up Millens. And Freddie Millens turns on the Jets to the 35. Alabama answers back with a 15-yard pickup. Roman, the free safety, made the tackle.
You know, the only problem when you run screen plays, this is a wide receiver screen, has to run the play fake. The offensive line is releasing to block. You're going to get hit 9 times out of 10 as the quarterback. Good job downfield by the offensive line. Samuels, number 60, gets out there and does a block. And the true freshman Millens, good job reading those blocks and getting down the field.
3 wide receivers from the eye. Alexander, big hole at the 45 near midfield. First down, Alabama. At the 48-yard line, Roman again made the tackle. Well, the seas parted for the great Alexander.
That is a huge hole. Number 30 is Dustin McClintock, the fullback. Gets a late block on the linebacker, but it was just enough. Good job by Alexander of reading that block. Again, it's that hesitation. You know, the good backs, they have a way of stopping almost in motion while a block comes in front of them. And Alexander, having a great season, he's closing in on a grand.
Yeah, 11 yards shy. Zhao over the middle, ball tipped and then incomplete. Roman, good coverage. Quincy Jackson was the intended receiver.
Good job by Jackson. The ball thrown behind him. Good job to get his hands on it so Roman couldn't come up with the interception. DuBose has to be pleased with this drive. You go down 16-7, your offense comes out, starts to get a little of that momentum back. Has to be very pleased with the way his freshman quarterback's running this offense.
Well, they shift the offense again. 3 wideouts to the eye. And flags are down.
Flag of the play.
They wouldn't have blown that whistle. That'd have been a heck of a play fake by Zhao.
And a dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Those are the things that you cannot do as an offense, especially playing in a place like Death Valley, 80,000 screaming fans, and you can hear them. They'll start to pick it up now after the penalty. You just can't dig yourself into too many holes in a place like this.
Well, Alabama, though, is moving the right direction. They're moving from left to right, and at the end of this end zone is 10,000 Bama faithful.
Headed for a lot of red.
Second down, 15. Well, they stack it up, 3 wideouts to the near side. They're going to pitch it. It's locked. Well, that's what you call stay-home defense. Thomas Dunson led the LSU charge.
Dunson, a redshirt freshman out of Spring, Texas, does a great job blitzing through the middle, getting up the field, blowing up not only the pitch, but the double reverse. They're trying to go to number 33, Ray, but 52, Dunson, comes on the blitz through the A gap, gets up the field, and tackling lock, knocks down Ray. What a great play by Dunson.
One of the stronger linebackers at LSU, benches nearly 400 pounds. 4 wide receivers. Third down, 29. Zhao dancing, breaks a tackle, 32 up to the 35. Johnny Mitchell chased Zhao down.
Boy, the LSU defense really turned it up a notch when they had to.
That ends the third quarter, and a wild one here at Death Valley. LSU leads 16-7. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. Start the fourth and final quarter here in Baton Rouge. LSU leading Alabama 16-7. Daniel Pope Well, he should get a game ball for the work he's done with that right foot today. Back to punt once again. High snap. Faulk and Foster. Good high kick. Taken at the 13. Faulk working up the far side and tackled down to the 21. McGehee made the special teams tackle. And we'll take a break. 16-7 LSU over Alabama. Young Tiger fan in the stands liking things here in Death Valley. LSU leading Alabama 16-7. To the near sideline. Little pitch and catch. Herb Tyler hooks up Foster, and a flag is down. Maybe a face mask.
Yeah, I think it'll just be the 5-yard, not the 15-yard kind.
Marcus Spencer on the tackle.
Incidental face mask at the end of the run, be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Well, Eddie, a kind of a double dip today. A treat for you. Aflac Trivia question 2. Kevin Faulk is currently 8th on the NCAA career all-purpose yard list. Who is number 1?
Well, I know the answer. We cheat on our Friday night meetings. We cheat. But Kevin Faulk, coming into today's game, the last 3 games he had to average just over 230 yards per game to move into second place. First place is out of reach for Kevin Faulk today. So far, 215 total yards of offense and returns.
And maybe a yard more right there up to the 33. At least you're honest, though. You know?
You know, I always say if you can't win, cheat and ruin it for everybody else. Faulk has been explosive today. 168 yards rushing, 10 yards receiving, 38 return yards. Just an amazing player. So great. You know, DiNardo talked about him recommitting to the program last spring. He committed as a freshman to come in. He's had a great 4 years here, but he made the recommitment to stay in Baton Rouge, finish his degree. He'll get his degree in kinesiology in December. And I loved what he told us. He said, you know what? I came back to be with my friends. I didn't want to leave my friends. You can always be a rookie in the NFL. You only get one shot to be a senior in college.
That was well put. Tyler, option. Oh, he is upended. High collared by Cornelius Griffin. And a little slow to get up.
I wonder if he's broken any of those fingernails we talked about early in the game.
Well, let's check. Let's check. Let's see.
I see hand. 4. You can't see the thumb.
That one looks okay.
Right hand is still the 3 he lost again. So it's been a pretty good nail day for Herb Tyler.
19 of 27, I'd say so. 191 yards. So he's heard that click a few times.
Well, his girlfriend, who takes care of his fingernails for him, will be happy to see he's coming back intact today.
On the rollout, swings, connects to the 44-yard line. Boy, Herb Tyler getting things done, and he hooks up once again with Larry Foster.
You know, Herb Tyler, the senior, last game at Tiger Stadium, having a very nice day. Little jumpy early, comes out of the pocket. So one thing, a guy like that, you know, offenses in the 90s, because of the zone blitz and the blitz packages that all these defenses are coming up with, this is how you're going to attack it, is get an athletic guy at quarterback who can run around and make those plays.
Well, despite the sprained ankle, Foster was 7 catches, 81 yards on the day. Tyler going back to work, rolls to the far side, again hooks up, and this time it's Booty. Abram Booty.
You know, Herb Tyler is senior. They had senior day here at LSU to honor the seniors and what they've done. Nobody's done more than Herb Tyler, but his family is one short. There he is hugging his mom. Very, very emotional day for the Tyler family. Their father passed away. Coach DiNardo out there to share the moment with him. Passed away last spring, and Herb said, it would be so special if my father were here to share this with me.
Pitch play. Faulk spins down past the 35 to the 33-yard line. You know, to go back and talk about Herb Tyler, DiNardo told us an interesting story. And this tells you also how the coaches, I think, around the country are reacting now to their players. The fact he needed time at home. He actually said, you know what, after you're done with spring classes, go home. And he was able to spend the final 2 weeks with his father before he passed away.
Yeah, it was during spring practice. Look how Herb Tyler, you know, he was able to spend some time with his family, very important at that time, but they let him get out of spring practice. And you're right, that's a great gesture by Coach DiNardo.
Faulk up the middle, cuts it outside, and steps out of bounds at the 23. Travis Smith pushed him out.
Great career for Herb Tyler here at LSU. But he's done it not only throwing the ball, he's done it rushing the ball. There's so many things that he's done. And when we talked to the offensive staff, especially Morris Watts, the quarterback's coach, who was instrumental in recruiting Herb Tyler, he said it's the amazing part has been his maturity and his growth as a quarterback. DiNardo echoed those sentiments. You said, give me one word. And he said mature. And that's what he's done as a quarterback. He's matured to doing so many different things.
Morris Watts also said, I saw just a guy with a good passing motion, and I think I could bring him along. And that he has. Faulk off the left side behind Williams and Thomasy.
And what Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, is seeing right now is the offensive line of LSU is starting to take this game over. You got the left tackle, Lewis Williams, left guard, Ryan Thomasy, McClure, the all-SEC center, the right guard, Trey Langley, and Brandon Winey, the right tackle, are really starting to take this game over. Every time they're running the ball, you can see that forward lean of Kevin Faulk. He doesn't have to make a move until he's into the linebackers.
How about the average per carry? Nearly 8 yards each time he touches the football. Herb Tyler on the keeper. Oh, the pads are still popping here in Death Valley out of the 3. Tony Dixon just laid the wood on Herb Tyler.
Oh, I don't know about that, Craig.
Maybe the other way?
Yeah, I have to think that quarterback laid a little wood on the strong safety, Tony Dixon. It's that one-back option that LSU has run a ton of times here in the second half. Oh, yeah, I'm a quarterback, but you know what? You better come to play because I'm going to bring the wood to you before you bring it to me.
You've mentioned it before. Maybe, well, Faulk we know is a great running back, but Herb Tyler pretty darn good himself. Right up the middle. Faulk on second effort to the 1. Well, he was caught down just around the 4 and broke it up to the 1-yard line. Jamie Carter, along with Travis Carroll, made the stop.
Excuse me, Craig. LSU in the stacked I formation. They had 3 guys lined up. Faulk dotted that long I, and what a great effort by Faulk. Able to keep his pad so low to the ground. That's where he gets his power. He's not a big guy, but he plays so low to the ground with great leverage.
Well, they stacked the backfield. 11th play of the drive. It's Faulk, Bama. They bend, but they don't break, and it's a 2-yard loss. Chris Horn, boy, flew in, untouched, and made the tackle on Kevin Faulk.
It's almost uncanny how LSU has owned the middle of the field. Mike DeBose, coming out at halftime, told John Dockery, we haven't played defense between the 20s, but we've been pretty good once the LSU Tigers get inside the 20, and here they're doing it again. If I'm Jerry DiNardo, I'm telling my offensive coordinator, let's get Herb Tyler out running around and see if he can't make a play.
3rd down, goal from the 2. And now a timeout. LSU.
With an outstanding work of primary and specialty positions.
So Tyler makes his way to the sideline. We'll take a break. LSU 16-7.
Next college football on CBS is sponsored by First Union, Honda Cycles, Bud Light, and by the NASDAQ MX Market Group.
Craig Bowler, Jack, Ed Cunningham, John Dockery back in Baton Rouge. LSU leads Alabama 16-7.
Tonight's attendance, 80,500.
That little Tiger tear.
Mike the Tiger.
522. Thank you for your support of Tiger football.
And Eddie, LSU 0-13-1 versus Alabama here at Tiger Stadium since 1969. That could be snapped here today. leading 16-7.
And Todd McClure, the senior center, who grew up here in Baton Rouge, wasn't alive the last time they beat him here. He said, you know, that may be how we leave this program, is a win against Alabama at home.
Well, let's take you back to our Aflac trivia question. Kevin Faulk is currently 8th on the NCAA career all-purpose yardage list. We ask you, who is number 1? And the answer, Napoleon McCallum of Navy, over 7,000 all-purpose yardage. Well,
Kevin Faulk has 243 total yards today, and he's sneaking up that list. Can get as high as number 2.
Well, LSU's current drive started on their own 22. 11 plays, they've moved 76 yards and eaten 5:07 off the clock. Third down, goal from the 2. Tyler. Picked off. Marcus Spencer for Alabama down to the 25.
Marcus Spencer.
Oh, the wind just came out of the sail of LSU. Second interception for Spencer on the year.
Marcus Spencer has one-on-one coverage. Quick slant to Booty. Ball just came out of Booty's hands. Spencer was behind Booty. The ball was thrown on the target. Abram Booty just could not hold on to it. What a huge turn of events for the Tigers. We're talking about beating Alabama the first time since '69. Oh no, we threw an interception.
Well, you made it right. Booty had the touchdown, and Spencer took it away. Alexander shifts gears and direction, and maybe a yard lost to the 25. Aaron Adams zoned in with a hit.
If there's any time in a season that Lou Tepper needs his defense to stand up and be counted, it's right now. They've been torn up in the press all year down here in Baton Rouge. They've questioned the scheme that Lou Tepper brought to LSU. If he needs his defense, if there was any time this season he needed a huge effort, it's right now after that incredible interception by Spencer.
As you talk about the scheme, people think it's a 3-4. Actually, though, they put a rush linebacker, and it looks like a 4-3, but it's a different look. Zhao connects and down to the 33-yard line. Roman makes the tackle. Quiets this LSU home crowd down just a bit. This will also be another test for a freshman quarterback in this tough situation, trailing 16-7.
Well, and the tough thing for Alabama as well, they're down 2 scores. Either way you add it up, they're down 2 scores, and they're at a point at this game where they might have to consider going into a hurry-up offense. Even if they go down and score and cut into this lead, they've got to get the ball back at some point.
Bama shifts that offensive set. Fumble, nope. It was a great fake. Boy, I tell you, Alexander looked down on the turf like he lost the ball, and Zhao came up around and picked up maybe a yard to the 36. Theo Williams made a tackle.
Greg, I'm not sure if that was not a broken play. They had the power eye set up in there. No question, broken play. Sean Alexander expected the ball. Zhao did not come back and get it into his midsection, but a smart heads-up play by Andrew Zhao. If you don't get it there, don't give the handoff, because it will end up on the turf. If you don't feel that midsection, you feel a hit, pull it back. Heads-up play by Zhao.
Well, even the broken play, Bama picks up the first down on the great effort by Andrew Zhao.
You know, he knew he took a bad angle to the handoff point. He spun out from the center. He knew he took a bad angle and just tucked it back in, had to get his momentum back, and then fought for the first down. That's a very headsy play by a freshman.
No, I had an interesting talk with him yesterday. Very mature man. He's been kidded all of his life with that last name of his. And, of course, what do you think? Wow, Zhao?
How do you like me, Zhao?
They stack up trips to the far side, and the catch is pulled down. Michael Vaughn. Again, there's that different look that Alabama's offense will throw at you time and time again. 15-yard gain, and the tackle belongs to Fred Booker.
You know, the hardest part when you're going up against an offense like Alabama, we talked about all of those formations they throw at you. They can run a lot of the same plays out of different formations. Very difficult to defend that many formations.
First down, clock running. Under 7.5 minutes. Again, a different formation this time. 3 wideouts to the near side. That is Alexander. Picks up 9 down to the 40. Charles Smith made the stop.
Roger Davis, Charles Smith.
And tonight, check out CBS Early Edition. We start you off, then followed by martial law in Walker, Texas.
Has the goal line stand up there in Boston and win, and now we've got a great game shaping up here in the fourth quarter down in Louisiana.
Well, Alabama got the interception to thwart an LSU drive. Zhao to the sideline, finds Alexander, breaks it to the 25-20, inside the 15 to the 12.
Alexander has that second gear that coaches talk about all the time. Once he makes this catch, Sean Alexander is going to burst down the field. Zhao goes through his progression. Nobody's there. He's got his safety valve over near the sideline. Coverage by LSU down the field was very good. Makes two guys miss getting down the field, but it was that little burst to get by those two guys.
28-yard pickup for Alexander. 1st and 10. Alexander a yard up to the 11. Anthony McFarland made the tackle.
Anthony McFarland and Adams made the tackle.
Well, you have to wonder if he's running through his mind what happened on this field 2 years ago. As we told you, 291 yards, 4 touchdowns on just 20 carries as a redshirt freshman. 6 minutes left in Death Valley. Shotgun. 4 wide receiver set. 8th play of the drive. Zhao over the middle. Incomplete. He was looking for Michael Vaughn. And a little underthrown. Booker on coverage.
A great job by the offensive line and offensive backs of Alabama. It was a sellout blitz by LSU. Zhao had all the time in the world and just underthrows the ball to number 22, Michael Vaughn. But a nice job up front by the Crimson Tide stopping that blitz.
Freddie Millens checks in. Number 15. They stack them, trips to the near side. Shotgun. Zhao dances, looks, and takes a fall at the 9.
All right, let's reset ourselves here. A field goal helps. You're down by 9. You have to get a field goal eventually, so this does not hurt Alabama. Jerry DiNardo on the sidelines. What is it? Do we got? Oh, okay. You know, as a head coach, you got to kind of stay reserved a little bit, but so difficult in a big game like this.
Ryan Flugner will try a field goal of 27 yards for Alabama. Good placement. Kick block. LSU special team rises up with the block. A 27-yard attempt never found its way to the goalpost.
Great block by number 98, Arnold Miller. 2 years ago against Auburn, he had 2 blocked kicks. Tonight he comes up with a huge one for Jerry DiNardo.
Day in Death Valley, and what a senior day for Arnold Miller. His 4th career block on that field goal attempt by Alabama. Faulk heads to the sideline and is pulled down at the 16.
Let's take a look again at that blocked field goal. Number 98, Arnold Miller, 6'4", with long arms, lines up, and then he's just got to time his jump. Good push up the middle. He gets way up off the ground to knock that ball down. And Coach DeBose realizes how big that play was. He comes in here. They've had great success as Alabama. They needed that field goal, though, Craig, down 9.
He's played in every game since he's been at LSU, and maybe none bigger than this one today. 2nd down and 13, 3 wide receivers. Faulk trying to dance out of a tackle and pulled at the 17. Well, Faulk has had a superior game today, and other heroes around the country. Drew Brees of Purdue, 6 touchdowns, 338 yards, and Deke Cooper We saw that game here on CBS, a defensive line stand they had against Boston College.
Free safety Cooper came blitzing in there. Made a great hit in the backfield on Mike Cloud to save that win for Notre Dame. But Drew Brees up in Purdue is a star in the making.
3rd down, 12 for LSU. Faulk still running hard to the 25. He'll be about 4 yards shy of the first down. Dixon got some help from Marcus Spencer. Lost the shoe.
Everything he's done today doesn't surprise me. Those shoes have taken a beating. He's got the big pad on that right arm.
Well, Faulk will take a break. 30 carries, 201 yards.
They created their
Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. 4th quarter, 3:26 remain. LSU looking at 4th and 4. Corey Gibbs back to kick for the Tigers. Arvin Richard back to receive for Alabama from the 34. Well, next weekend, Autry Denson and Jarius Jackson ignite the Irish against Brian Broadwater and the Middies of Navy, or it's a showdown of SEC power when the Arkansas Razorbacks tangle with T. Martin and the Tennessee Vols. That's all next Saturday on NASDAQ MX College Football.
It's amazing how things have sorted themselves out in the SEC. Tennessee, in their first year post-Manning, has come on extremely strong. And Arkansas, the absolute, not just surprise in the SEC. I have to say Arkansas is a surprise team in the country this year.
Andrew Zhao with a hill to climb. And the clock is against him. But he makes the big strike. Quincy Jackson to the 32. Ryan Clark made the tackle for LSU.
Complete to Jackson.
Quincy Jackson had a touchdown earlier where the ball was tipped. He kept concentration. This time, maybe even a better catch. Right as he touches the ball, Mark Roman comes in to lay a shoulder into him, and Jackson strong enough to hold on to that pass. Again, you see he has to go to the sidelines, a little shaken up. It was a great shot by Roman, but he had the strength to hold on to that thing.
30-yard pickup to the 32. Alexander, well, he's been a bull runner today to the 27. Jackson, by the way, his 3rd catch for 113 yards.
If you're going to catch him, you might as well make him big plays. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's why you're out there, right?
Bama on the move. Under 3 minutes left. Zhao tried to thread it between 3 LSU defenders, incomplete. Locke just past his fingertips.
That's where you got to be a little careful. LSU dropping back into a zone coverage. Locke running a little curl route. He was open, but the problem is if you don't thread it in there, you get to either side of him like Zhao did, you can always get an interception.
Eddie, how about this game today? Faulk goes over 1,000, and Alexander now with 1,004 on the season. 19 carries, 94 yards. Zhao swings it out. Alexander in the flat. Skips under the tackle, 25. And out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Charles Smith made the tackle. Should be enough for the first down. And first down it is. Bama continues to breathe.
And Alexander does a great job of getting to the sidelines and getting out of the bounds, even though he got the first down, which stops the clock in college football. Once they set the ball in the chains, it would start again. But since he got out of bounds, keep the clock killed and save some more time.
I guarantee you, Jerry DiNardo is wearing about a 6-inch groove on that sideline. 16-7, Tigers. Zhao trying to move Bama. Pumps over the middle. Has a man, Alexander. Touchdown, Bama.
Deshaun Alexander for the touchdown.
Here's where Andrew Zhao is really going to hurt people in the future. Great play fake, Alexander comes out of the backfield. Rayon Hill put in as a linebacker in coverage. Can't keep up with Alexander. DuBose has some big decisions to make now with 2:24 left. He needs another score.
And now how big is that blocked field goal attempt? Extra point to come. Lugner puts his foot into it, knuckleball, and kicks it through. Hang on, 2-point game in Death Valley. .224 remaining in Baton Rouge. Alabama battling back 16-14.
And Mike DuBose, the decision I was talking about is, does he go for an onside kick? He's lined up for it. LSU has their hands team on. With 2:24 and only one timeout, DuBose thinks this is the right thing to do. Try to get the ball back.
Pope will kick. It's up for grabs. Tip! Bama! Alabama recovers at the 40.
Daniel Pope has not only done a great job with the kicks, with the punts today, he is their punter, but an absolutely picture-perfect kick. A couple of hops and then straight up in the air. Make it a jump ball. It's the only way you have a chance on that type of kick. Alabama hustling down the field. An excellent kick by Daniel Pope.
Jason McAdley, a freshman out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, pulls down that fumbled kick.
Daniel Pope, the punter, has had an incredible day pinning LSU back all day with that great leg and has an absolutely textbook kick.
Death Valley is alive. Everybody up. 1st and 10, Alabama at the LSU 40. Alexander, the ball carrier, breaks it up the middle, cuts to the near side of the 27. And the clock will run. Anthony McFarland, Robert Davis. And remember, Ed, 3 points will get it done. But the kicking game today has been a strange one.
This game has come down to the kicking game. Coaches profess it. They talk about it. Bama comes up with their first onside kick recovery since 1984. LSU had 3 kicks, an extra point, and 2 field goals, clank off iron, and then Alabama had a kick block earlier in the 4th quarter.
1st and 10, Alexander buried at the 25. Jarvis Green wrapped him up. All right, Eddie, check in our CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Andrew Zhao, the freshman, first half, 45 yards passing. He has come back with a big second, 214 yards.
And he's 11 of 14 here in this second half. And if you're a Crimson Tide fan, you got to be grinning ear to ear because he's got 3 more years in the maroon.
Well, for complete college football coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Alexander, no. He was knocked back. Big hit. Green and McFarland.
Here's that tough part of the game for Alabama. You can see them. They are in no hurry. They want to get a few more yards to try that field goal, maybe take a shot into the end zone, but you cannot give the ball back to LSU with any time. LSU has 2 timeouts left, and if you're LSU, you got to start thinking, I've got to take some timeouts on defense.
Well, right now you look at around a 42-yard kick. 3rd down 9, under a minute left. LSU showing blitz. Zhao rolls, fires, going for 6. Touchdown! And again, the miracle catch. That ball was tipped by Davis, and Quincy Jackson brought it in.
We have seen things today, Craig, that you said it. If we broadcast football until we're 90, we won't see again. 3 balls clanked off the iron, and now we've seen Robert Davis make 2 good plays on the football for LSU, and Quincy Jackson come up with touchdowns. Ball a little underthrown by Zhao. He's had a great second half, but just didn't quite get enough air under it. The freshman cornerback Davis is there, tips the ball. Jackson makes another spectacular grab. Unbelievable, the turn of events here in the 4th quarter.
And Zhao jumping for joy as he's hooked up with Quincy Jackson on 2 incredible touchdowns.
Mike DuBose took this program over last year. They went 4-7. took some heat. He's changed a bunch of coaches. Jerry DiNardo came in with high expectations. Everybody expected them to win the SEC West. And it's almost like this is the way their season is meant to be going.
Jackson looks to the sky. Boy, Death Valley for Alabama. It's like a home field advantage down the stretch run today.
It's amazing. Alabama has not lost here since 1969. They're 13-0-1. And in LSU's 1,000th game of football, it's like that hex just continues to be here at Tiger Stadium.
Well, they were hoping the new millennium maybe would change things. Alabama, unsportsmanlike conduct. Now the call, timeout LSU. Well, that burns a timeout, so LSU has one remaining. Alabama has no timeouts left with 38 seconds to play.
Alabama deciding to go for 2, and that caused LSU to burn one of their valuable timeouts.
80,000 in Death Valley. Stunned. Most of the LSU fans. There are 10,000 Bama fans. And Zhao going for 2. Yeah. Vaughn in traffic.
And I believe it was another tipped ball, Craig. I believe Mark Roman got a hand on that ball. The ball just does not want to bounce LSU's way. All season long and in the fourth quarter against Alabama, things have just not gone LSU's way. Mark Roman right there. And if you're wondering why they wanted Zhao to go for 2 in this, because now you are up by 6 points and it requires an extra point. Remember, LSU has had trouble on extra points, so even if they score, this puts a lot of pressure on Jerry DiNardo's kicking game if they're able to go down and score.
All right, we reset it. 38 seconds remain. Alabama 22, LSU 16. And Ed, LSU will have to obviously work the clock. They have one timeout remaining, and they will need some spectacular running from that man. What looked to be the break of a long jinx here in Death Valley since 1969, but Bama has turned the events.
LSU had to burn that timeout because they weren't ready for Alabama to go for 2. Very key with 38 seconds left.
Well, they have given Alabama one timeout left, and there was a scramble off the kick.
A mistake by Ryan Flugner, the kicker. He kicked it and hit one of the up men from LSU. LSU will get great field position.
49-yard line of Alabama.
You can see the disappointment in Mike DeBose. They're trying to squib kick because Kevin Faulk is too dangerous. It hits an up man. He recovers it. A big mistake by Ryan Flugner. He was trying to get it down the field. Excuse me. Wisniewski was the kicker.
4 wide receivers for LSU. They have one timeout remaining. 35 seconds left in Baton Rouge. Play action. Tyler down the middle. Intercepted. It was a delayed call. And Bama has it at the 16.
Craig, one of the officials coming in from the sideline called this ball incomplete. The deep field judge called it complete, or excuse me, an interception. Let's take a look and see if they got underneath the ball. No question about it. Number 41, Marcus Spencer, did not catch that ball. It caught grass as it hit the ground. One of the officials coming in was ruling the ball was not an interception. Wide open Foster was down the middle, just a little overthrown by Herb Tyler, but I think that was a missed call by the official, Craig.
Zhao takes a knee. And the 10,000 who traveled to watch Alabama on their feet, and boy, LSU fans so disappointed as that long, long drought since 1969 continues, that they have failed to beat Alabama in Tiger Stadium. DeBose will meet DiNardo.
interception again that the officials ruled. One of the officials coming from the side said that Marcus Spencer caught the ball. It looked to me on the first time we looked at it that the ball hit the grass. Herb Tyler overthrows a pass to Foster. Foster wide open in the middle. Looks to me like he does not get his hands under the ball.
And let's take you downstairs, and John Dockery.
Thank you, thank you, Greg. Coach, what would you say about a game like this?
Tremendous effort from two really fine football teams. You know, hats off to Jerry and his staff and his football team. Play hard. But I can't say enough about our young football team to come back in the second half and play with a hard side. We asked them to leave it all out here. If they did that, we thought we'd win the game, and we did. And just a tremendous win for us.
Do you feel a little lucky with the way some of the balls bounced?
Oh, yeah. You know, this is that type of game. And, you know, when you play hard and you give it everything, you got good things happen.
You know, the hex seems to continue, that Alabama continues to win here in Death Valley. What
tremendous win again. And, you know, our fans, I can't say enough good things about them. If you don't get ready to play when you enter the stadium with our fans, something's wrong with you.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Thank you very much. Andrew, congratulations.
Thanks.
What is a game like this?
Like Butler. What's up?
What is a game like...
Hey, Jay.
Hold it
What's up,
out.
Amers?
All right, work with me now. What does a game like this mean to Alabama and to your team?
Man, we fought our butts off, and it means a whole lot.